Good evening. This is Hannah, and today I would like to start with a, a serious issue in Japan, and then I will talk about UNWRA and ultimately what Amnesty is doing right now. But, anyways, I'll start with the serious issue that Japan has right now. In Japanese, well, it's a translation, but it's called Dark Part-Time Job, and it involves social media, and it's like you get like mail, like message, like you can get money by doing burglary or uh, commit some kind of crimes, murders, robberies against individuals. And um, I think that Japan does not have any immunity against these kinds of crimes. And there are various crimes actually involved with like social media involved. And it's not just what is discussed right now in the cabinet or the diet. And this is a really, really serious issue. It's like, this is just a tip of the problem. And in my opinion, I I am appalled at some point that uh, Japan does not have any strong attitude against Chinese people because there may be, uh, well, the U.S., same with the U.S., there may be a lot of Chinese mobs committing this kind of crimes. And also, they may get involved in the politics of Japan, which is the last thing that we want to see. And um, um, another, well, see, other cases, like for example, is a dating case, like talking in sweet, like words and say like I need this, that, blah blah blah, those kinds of things, and then say like, well, can you send me some money or something like that? Like I need, I don't have food. Like that happens with the somebody pretending to be a soldier in the Middle East, or something like that, like U.S. soldiers in the Middle East or something like that. And like women believe in these like men or the message and send money, and the money, the person never shows up years after or whatever. So and I was actually reading some reports and cautions by FBI and the State Department. This is a serious crime, and this is a serious issue that has been going on in the United States. And um, um, another case, major case. I'm just talking about the major cases, not the minor cases, but uh, there are like cases that involves cryptocurrency and stock exchange. You know what? These kinds, like everything that involves, and also prostitution is included in all this kind of problem. And um, people are very much influenced by words. And uh, like some people say, like, you can buy this and that. But you know what? These kinds of exchanges, they have to, people have to report if people have income, like higher, well, like if they make profits from the stock exchanges, it's normal to report to the government as, with the income. So I think that, what, I get strange messages like that, but it's very, very, we have to be careful. And women are, for example, uh, are given sweet words again here, and they are, for example, like involved. They are invited to something, and they get raped. And this is not funny at all to me. But all these crimes using online social media are must be felony crime, and especially like stock exchanges, cryptocurrency, those kinds of things. Uh, um, there it took time to make laws in Japan, but still, it's a felony financial crimes in the United States. Really, it's a serious crime uh, that people have to be really, really careful. And some people may think, who the hell I am. I, you know what? I am reported as an author for a long time, and also I have if you're a foreigner, usually people report W8BN number. So it's like, well, you get tax exemptions and then pay taxes in Japan, like where I reside or something. But yeah, W9, then it's something like you live in the US and you pay the tax to the United States. But I just am appalled at the Japanese policy right now on uh, how uh, weak the system, the whole system, not just the cyber system, but Chinese mobs could bring in the weapons, drugs, and also traffic people, which are all terrible. That is expected to happen. But all these things may happen in the future that we have to be really careful. I am not saying that all the Chinese people are like that. But however, there are criminals who are arrested already who are Chinese nationals, and I'm just uh, really, really worried because and also if there is a crime, uh, one crime happens in one prefecture and this person commits another crime in a different prefecture, it takes so long to arrest this person because there is no system to basically like federal system like that to control like the criminals and investigate them ultimately. The steps are so slow. It takes so long, and also at the same time, uh, in some cases, nobody notices that these like two cases that happened in the two different prefectures are committed by the same people or something like that. And we have to be really careful about those things. You know, these things are really, really terrible. But right now, Japan has the police force basically controls something inside the prefecture, and when it goes crosses the prefect, not to another prefecture, there is no system to control the criminal for a while, and also it becomes like cooperative investigation between the two police forces, but there is no one higher police system that controls all the cases, and that is one of my concerns, really. So this is what I think of the dark part-time job. I'm really scared, really, to be honest. So I don't know how many people are aware because, well, like, I just cannot forgive UNWRA for many reasons. It's like they make up excuses. Right now, Lazzarini is making up excuses, and for some reason, they say, well, like, Israel is committing like genocide against Palestinian. You know what? Well, I will read out one post by UN ambassador, Israeli UN ambassador. Israeli UN ambassador. I know that, you know what, these people think that reading out doesn't prove anything. Yes, of course. I do know that. I mean, yeah. But still, they need to know. One thing they need to know is that how many Gazans actually were so radicalized because of UNWRA. And they are taught from childhood to hate Israelis and demolish Israel. That's what they are supposed to do. And UNWRA is something. UNWRA teachers teach those ideologies through puzzles, using poo, whatever, like cute figures like animations, cartoons, or puzzles, dolls, anything. They use people and brainwash children to kill Israelis, and also they it's the ideology is that if Israelis disappear, we're gonna return. See, that's the ideology that the UNWRA teachers teach. And well, Lazzarini will say, Well, that's a lie, blatant lie, and uh, um, Israel is like propagating it. They want to say it because it's so bad. It's really, really terrible, and they are the ones who are teaching to intentionally kill someone, which means October 7th did not happen, of course, in vacuum, but it did happen because of UNRWA. The United Nations is responsible for the crime. ICJ I found out that it does not investigate anything and judge the situation. South Africa is a terrible country. It's a corrupt nation, and what they took with them was PFLP uh, uh, leader. PFLP also participated in October 7th, and I am just too appalled at how irresponsible the United Nations is. And the arrest, there is a judge from Japan, and I am appalled at her as well. Like, I don't have words. Like, she thinks that ICC will be treated as a terrorist organization. But you know what? It is true. What is true is that ICC allows terrorism if uh and also, well, Israel is out of ICC jurisdiction in the first place. Number 1. And number 2 is that this people use the term genocide too easily without any specific knowledge, and it is very difficult to define. But in case of Israel, it's not very difficult because everybody who have been there know how not Israelis but Gazans uh, are are educated in UNWRA schools and Palestinians, basically, in general. Like, that is my land. But you know what? And we're going to grab it. And that's why October 7th happened. And also, October 7th happened because our school teachers taught that it is okay to kill them all. Kill them all means kill Israelis all. Do you know what they did? Well, like a lot of like journalists are involved as well. Like so-called journalists. Well, they were arrested by Israeli police, and also they were interrogated after they were captured in the combat between Hamas and uh, IDF, which is terrible, terrible, and um, um, I I'm just so basically this thing that Gazans are not armed, which which ICC want to define that way, is completely wrong because they are armed uh, terrorist organizations. Hamas is, and PLO, which which is the like mother organization of Hamas, they are the terrorist organization. Terrible. And do people know how many terrorist cases happened after October 7th? and Israeli people live under this. And uh, I'm just see, I have friends. I have a lot of actually Jewish friends, but I have what uh, maybe women don't know about this, like American women. But I was told about UNWRA more than 10 years ago. And it is a terrible organization to me. And I would say that people have the right to say it. Uh, I would doubt the morality of the people, including Amnesty and the journalist organizations. I mean, the Japanese journalist organizations, all of them, NHK, TBS, or Asahi, whatever. I doubt them all why they can publish about the possible genocide. Uh, Amnesty defined. Amnesty, uh, in my opinion, forges crimes, war crimes especially, and that troubles a lot of governments. And um, I'm not all for Amnesty at all. I don't trust the organization, and I hate the organization, and I just cannot accept the organization. But um, so why do people want to deny the right of Israel to exist, and the UN want to erase Israelis by definition? Especially, I'm appalled at the current UN chief, uh, uh, Antonio Guterres, who advocates for Iran, Syria, Assad, Putin, Russia, for example. All the dictators whom uh, make people suffer. See, Iran has executed a number of people illegally. It's illegal. And he does not understand. And he goes after all the prophets, and he bows down to the and kiss the legs of the dictators. It is so disgusting. But if you want to know about genocide, it's very good to know about Natasha Hauserhoff. Yeah, Hauserhoff. Yeah, you should know about her. Uh, yeah, Hauserhoff. She is an international, she's a barrister, and she is an international expert and speaker. And she often talks about what genocide is. And she is very, very knowledgeable about international law and genocide cases. So I am just appalled at the Japanese judge. Um, uh, uh, Akane. Yeah, I think her name is, um, she, uh, well, if, well, see, what I hate to see is that Japan start to talk about the arrest warrants of Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Gallant. And these arrest warrants are uh, were basically are very are issued because of the politics, obviously. And I do not understand why people have to respect Qatar so much. You know what? It's shameful. Like, you know what? The Western countries bows down to Qatar, which hosted Hamas. Yeah. So she thinks. Well, she got arrest warrants from Putin, Russia. The judge uh, who who is appointed as a judge in ICC, the Japanese judge, and uh, basically it does not work properly at all. And I don't know why she is so. Well, she sounds very scared. I mean, what is so wrong about getting arrested? Like by Putin? Like, are you in Russia? Like, I really would like to ask her. Like, she's not even in Russia, and she's in Japan, or she's in Hague, where but she um see 20% of the rockets that Hamas fires fall inside Gaza. 20%. And do you know how many rockets they fired? And I know that there are ballistic missiles fired by Hezbollah as well. And I just think that people should be aware of the facts, not the story. Just please don't make up the story and propagate Israel and say Israel has committed genocide. Then why are Palestinians authorized? What kind of authority do they have to hate? Like, those UNWRA teachers teach Israeli people to basically they teach children that Israeli people should die, and if they die for to obtain the land, they have to be proud of it, and it's called metia. And you know what? I read through a military expert from Bahrain, and a lot of people from Muslim nations, you know, and with common sense, and they know the problem. They can understand the problem better. And the problem is that it's yeah, it's uh a lot of people like who talk about Gaza or Palestinians history, they are not saying something true at all to the public, and I just don't know what to say. And especially, who's the biggest liar is ICC, the champion. Um, if I say this is inappropriate, then ICC basically is that um, uh, so uh, so this is not the case of ICC, but Japan invests to. I understand that Japan invests to ICJ and ICC, and uh, the Japanese government actually sued the United States in simple word term, and uh, ICJ made a statement that the usage of the nuclear weapon or to or intimidation with the nuclear weapon is basically against the international law. Yeah, but here, uh, ICJ again cannot judge the United States because the United States is out of jurisdiction. And and um, so so that's well, like it was in 1996 that the ICJ made a statement about the nuclear weapons, the usage of nuclear weapons, or the intimidation with the nuclear weapons. However, I would just I would expect that Japanese government, well, Japan basically, and the United States have better relationship than this turmoil. It is a turmoil, really, and um, uh, so so I I heard the statement about Gaza, for example, by Prime Minister, not the current Prime Minister, but I it is so illegitimate, and uh, he is not speaking anything based on the truth. And why? Well, see, the logic is this: they Israel is able to intercept all the rockets through uh, air defense system called Iron Dome, so that They can Gazans can fire rockets at Israel but Israel must not intercept anything. Well, intercept basically defend herself uh, uh, with the military operation. But thinking back the, of the history of the modern warfare, it is not strange or not crazy that military campaign is happening in Gaza right now because it really involves the safety of the citizens uh, of Israel, and I just cannot understand why people cannot understand this. But anyways, the ICC judge in the Japanese department is Akane Tomoko, and she I think, in my opinion, yes, ICC must be sanctioned. Sure, it must be. And and it's an overusage of power without any facts, basically, that ICC is doing right now, and it's so illegitimate and uh well, she thinks that it's a double standard, that Putin gets arrest warrants and Benjamin Netanyahu and Gallant doesn't get any arrest warrants. But uh, it's totally different. Like that IDF is operating now in Gaza. Do people know how many bombs, rockets, Kalashnikov, like guns, rifles, all the weapons from UN schools, UN hospitals, UN humanitarian organization? The rockets were fired from the UN supported area. Why? Yes, it's a double standard that they do. ICC does. And I wonder who really who is in the background of the arrest warrant of Netanyahu and Gallant, really, because it's so politically motivated. And I just do not understand why Akane Tomoko doesn't understand this. Okay, so I talked for a long time about this, but anyway, I'd like to know a little about the report that Japanese media make. The other day, somebody gave me a report which was written by a researcher of Hudson Institute. And see, all the reports that about Israeli victims, this is not about how do you feel issue, especially the rape victims and other victims, but uh, um, these ICC and ICJ basically wants to ignore the facts, and I am so appalled. Uh, and and actually, a lot of people are saying this, but after October 7th, there has been 2.02% increase in the population in Gaza. And if the genocide is happening, why is the population increasing? And they keep increasing right now. Yeah. And Amnesty will pick up something that they want, and if they don't want to hear, then they say it's not true. It's Israelis' campaign, right? I'm just really, really, uh, well, uh, I wanted Japan not to be involved in the case between Israel and Gaza because Prime Minister does not seem to be very rational about the problem. The current one is Sheba, and um, uh, it's a very very uh, people should know how much malicious intentions Gazans are taught by UNWRA schools. And that is causing a lot of issues. And this is something I heard from the United States military personnel. And I cannot tell who told me about this. But I heard about UNIFIL too. And I asked a lot of questions about the United Nations. And, he hated the United Nations so much and stuff like that. But I cannot tell the names or age or whatever. But the newspaper, for example, this evening writes that Amnesty says genocide is happening in Gaza. But it's that they do not write based on any investigations on their own, but they pick up something like that and try to spread it. Which means that they're not talking about the reality. So I'm just see Asahi especially fabricated the articles, and even other news organizations laugh about this, but like they Asahi journalists fabricated the numbers or fabricated stories and made it into an article. And this evening's title on the Middle East, I can tell about this, but they think attacking Gaza is equal to genocide. And I am just I want the Japanese people to think about like this issue. See, Israel is a small country with a small territory, but to defend herself, it is this much military campaign that they have to do. See, Japan is an island country, fortunately, and it is far from North Korea. And we can see, we are not even sure if we can defend ourselves in the first place by, like, physically. If one cruise missile hits an area, and there's a huge hole if that ever happens. But, and yeah, it's yeah, I really would like to say, like, Amnesty report is basically always anti-Israel initiative, and uh, it is, well, it is malicious, I guess, as an organization. Well, I do not like Amnesty personally, and uh, well, Amnesty ultimately justifies terrorism. They say, oh, you guys are okay to do this because you're forgiven. You're just kind of resistance. But they're not resisting. It's an offense that they're doing. And always in case of the Japanese media, what they do is that when the uh, when Israel shoot Gaza with the rocket to eliminate the area which fired the rockets, they say, "Oh, people like Israel killed people, innocent people. Are they innocent people? Hmm? You, the donors of the UNWRA, are teaching how to kill Israelis. And basically, it is really, really terrible that you, I mean you, the donor of UNWRA, yeah, how come the Japanese politicians advocate for the murders of Israelis? It's about this issue. But some people, a lot of politicians doesn't seem to be even aware and just read the newspaper and think, oh, this is terrible, right? They have to see the reality of what UNRWA is doing. And I'm sorry to tell this, but this is not about the right wing government. And the news media is lying about this as well. And in the middle of the war, why? Well, it's so obvious that um, uh, the terrorist organizations want to eliminate Netanyahu right now. That's their intention, and they 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 also uh, they also use UNRWA's money to murder IDF soldiers. And why they dig tunnels? It's not for Gazans to protect themselves from cruise missile or anything. They are simply used to store weapons or use the tunnels for execution. Like, yeah, like I just I think that people should really be aware of what uh, they are doing. And if you if people ever uh, donate to UNWRA, that means even if they'll call themselves as one of the United Nations department, and we are like in a higher position and right, we are always right or something like that, but they are not right at all. They are murderous organization, the UNRWA. Yeah, UNRWA's money ultimately killed people on October 7th. And people are not even sorry, and they're demonstrating on the street. And I am just, it is so unbelievable that, these protesters do not understand the reality, and they scream about something. And you know what? The Japanese think that, thinking of like the bombings of by the United States military, during the war, the Pacific War, uh, IDF is doing something terrible, but but uh, they these people need to understand the Pacific War as well, really, and uh, and I just don't want to, yeah, meet people who advocate for Hamas, basically. But you know what? Uh, uh, it's a bad behavior of the Japanese. But if it's they are very irrational uh, in group in many cases, and they become in group and start to say something, and they target one person and attack one person. You know what? This happens in Japanese society, and I really, really am worried that uh, this logic is applied to ICC cases, which Japanese, well, not government, but the Japanese lawmakers want to be involved. As I have been screaming since last September or something, not before, not after October 7th, but before October 7th, like September, that Lazzarini should just go away. That's it. I don't want UNRWA in Japan. It's the cause of the very cause of the problem, and it's not about the peace of Japan, but they need to learn first to respect people. See? And here goes another thing about Douglas Murray. Like, he's kind of he's a very he, I the, well, my first the reason why I talk about him is that well, I was surprised that the person, advocates for Israel, even though the person is not Jewish, and uh, he he loves Jewish people. Well, that's very, very close to what I believe, because I'm not Jewish, but I have friends, and also I have, well, like Hessel, like who was like my grandfather. He was the dean of the Pennsylvania State University of Pennsylvania medical department. He was a medical professor, but uh, yeah, he was like my grandfather almost. And uh, um, I have many friends who are Jewish, and I would just refrain from talking about this. But when you look up Douglas Murray, the first thing that comes up is that he is an extreme right wing activist. And I really laughed about this because he's not. I mean, he's a very, um, well, as a writer, it is important to focus on one topic and talk about it in a way people can understand easily. And I believe that, like, he is good at giving speeches. And also, it is important that, non Jewish people like Douglas Murray, speaks on behalf of Jewish people, like the Jewish population. So, I mean, I just don't understand why the journalist organizations want to destroy Israeli people so much. They're in a group and, like, attacking people. It's just so shameful. And and when people call the current government of Israel, the Japanese media always laugh and say it's right wing uh, government. But I would ask what they mean by right wing, really, because it's not the right term that they are using right now. And I don't think that these people who claim that Israel is right government and um, extreme right government, and they're not democratic. It is not about that. It's not about that. But what is important is that Israel uh, Israel has various people, as I know. It's a very liberal country uh, in ideology. Well, like Bibi Netanyahu is not talking about people's ideology, but uh, what he believes, or some, I should say. But it is not about right wing, but it's, yeah, like, I just hope that the um, the journalist organizations, like Japanese journalist organizations, should acknowledge and tell how many journalists, so-called journalists, I have to say, are involved in the Western media and also involved in Hamas combatant. Well, they are working as combatant in behind the shadow, and they have other face, which is the journalist face, and they make up stories and issue a lot of articles, and that's what's happening. Do you believe John Spencer or Douglas Murray or the journalist organizations? I don't believe in journalist organizations at all, but they are in the narrative of what Israel has to do. They do not see. It is the worst thing that they come up with right now is that they tell Israel what they should do. Like, Israel is not doing the right thing, and we have to correct Israel, which is, well, they don't understand Israel, but they think that they're doing the right thing. It's very sad, but that's the standard of the media right now. Not just Japanese media probably, but some Western media are very biased. So, um, yeah, like the IDF uh, uh, soldiers and officers, high-ranking officers, are not making up stories of storing weapons in schools and hospitals. And the Japanese media has to say that they have to say that what Hamas members told the investigator or interrogator, Israeli interrogator, when they were captured during the combat. They were working for Hamas, and they also reported on behalf of the Western media. I'm appalled, but that's what's happening. And Amnesty's report is totally unacceptable. And I hope that they shut their mouth, really. And you know what? It's not North Korea. It's not Russia. It's not Syria. See, they do not blame any of them. But what they do is that they target Israel right now. It's a political organization, really. They have something. So anyways, when you see something, please do not believe what the media says, just with innocent mind. But people has to think what the truth is. It's important right now. I will talk about this in probably the next episode, but what is happening in Russia and Ukraine is not just a problem, but it matters because Japan has to negotiate in Russia over to Kuril Islands, and they have to be returned, but it is very hard because of the current foreign minister, Lavrov, and also Gazans is very fluent in English, and I was thinking that Gazans is trying to get something, and well, he ended up in the position very, very high in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia. I don't want to talk about this, but I'll talk about this in the next episode about what I thought about Ukraine and Russia. It's not about Ukraine and Russia to Japan. Japan has really serious problems, and I hope that people are aware more about this issue. But anyways, I hope that you have a good evening or you have a good morning and um, have a good day and good night.